Hello and welcome to My Salumi. Today we're going to be making Mettwurst, or Northern German Dauerwurst, meaning lasting sausage. Southern German Mettwurst is actually a soft sausage, like nduja. We're going to be using the Dry 50mm dry sausage kit, which includes pretty much everything you need in terms of special ingredients. It's got the dextrose to feed this starter culture and some Instacure number 2. It's also got enough 50mm casing and zip ties to do about 30 pounds of meat. Now you're going to start out sourcing meat and fat, usually 5 pounds worth, and you need to get some wooden paddles, a meat grinder with a large plate, and a 5 to 7 pound sausage stuffer. We recommend the manual type to preserve the texture of the sausage. You'll also need a digital scale if you're going to be weighing your own salt, Instacure, and spices. Or you can make the job very easy by purchasing Dry sausage spice blend. We have a really delicious Mettwurst blend. And you can get the fail-safe Dry curing salt blend, which has just the right proportion of kosher salt and Instacure for this 5 pounds of meat. Now you're going to grind the cold meat, prepare the cold meat, and you're going to mix up the starter culture with dechlorinated water. Prepare your very large grinding plate and put that crispy cold meat through the grinding plate so that you get really nice, what they call particle definition. You want to grind out the cold fat after that, and when you've got it all prepared, just take out your the rest of your ingredients. Now we've mixed the dextrose powder into the spice blend mix here. We're shaking it up so it's nicely distributed. And then you want to put the spices and dextrose into the meat. And if you use those wooden paddles, it'll allow that meat to keep its definition and as you're mixing it up. You want to mix in your kosher salt and Instacure. And again, make sure that you chop it in, mix it in, toss it, get it really thoroughly blended through this nice cold meat. The last thing you're going to add is the TSPX starter culture that you've diluted, you've activated in the dechlorinated water, and then you can put your hands to work kneading it in really, really well. You want to fill your stuffer, of course try to press out all of the air, and then also measure the area, the height of the area where you're going to hang your sausages, and make a guide so when you're stuffing the sausage, you're stuffing it to the right length that you'll be able to hang it for fermentation. Okay? Now you want to line up the 50mm casing on the horn of your stuffer and then just thread on as much as will fit tight on the stuffer, press out the air, and use one of the zip ties to tie off the very end. So once you have that prepared, you'll start stuffing. Stuff to the length that you want, and in between each sausage, each link, you're going to put 2 zip ties, one to have a tight end to the sausage you just completed, and one to have a good start to the next one. You can leave them in pairs or you can cut them individually. Pairs are easier to hang for fermentation. And you also want to make sure, once you get them all stuffed, pick out a couple of them and weigh them. And mark that weight on there so that you can weigh it later and make sure that they have lost the correct amount of weight for safe consumption. All right? So the sausages are going to start out sort of a grayish color, especially with the Mettwurst recipe. But over the course of fermentation, they're going to turn a bright red, at which point you want to put them in a full-size frost-free fridge and let them dry. Again, weigh those target sausages that you marked the weight on to make sure that you lose that 35 to 40% moisture. And in about 3 to 4 weeks, with the 50mm casing, you should have results like this. The Mettwurst recipe has a really wonderful aroma of mace and flavor of mustard seed. It's a great recipe. We hope you'll give it a try.